So, good morning, good evening, whenever you are hearing or watching to this. We are a team conformed by the two Luises of the class. The book that we talk about in this presentation is Fight Club. The first slide that we put is a disclaimer, which is also a warning sign that Tyler, with one of the quotes that Tyler says in the book. And well, as I told you, go on.
So we're gonna talk about Fight Club, which is a 1996 novel by Chuck Palahniuk, and that it follows experiences of an unnamed protagonist struggling with insomnia, inspired by his doctor exacerbated remark that insomnia is not suffering. So the first rule about the Fight Club is that you do not talk about the Fight Club. Second rule about the Fight Club is that you do not talk about it. The third rule is if someone says stop or goes limp, taps out, and then the fight is over. The fourth rule is only two guides to a fight. Only two. Fifth rule, one fight at a time, fellas. Sixth rule, no shirts, no shoes. Then, the seventh rule, which is fight will go on as long as they have to. An eighth and final rule, if this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
Okay, well, some of the topics that we cover in this presentation was the author. The first one, well, it's this one. When we talk about Chuck Palahniuk and how his life came to this, because many of the things that he passed through or his experience gave the shape to Fight Club. As I don't know, when he worked with ill people, taking them to the support groups.
And the idea from the Fight Club started with an actual fight that Chuck had when he was young and he was in a camp. And the support group as well played an important role in the creative process because he was part of them, and not because he was ill, but because he was feeling like kind of happy with it.
Yeah, he would spend many times with the people in the support groups. So, an overall introduction to the book. It's about a 30-year-old man that toils in a bureaucratic job in a 20th century American city, and his life suddenly changes when he met the charismatic and anarchic Tyler. And we could think about this in a way that he came to save his life, but at the same time, he ruined it, as we will see in the themes later. I think that we took in the characters that seemed pretty interesting to me. It's that we resembled or tried to depict the character, getting ourselves into their lives. I was a narrator, and well, I spent a really good time making this because I didn't have the emotional responsibility like with my partners. I could talk in any way that I would like to. I could smoke during the presentation, and I don't know, it was kind of relaxing, and I think that I enjoyed was asking them not what they thought about the narrator, but what they thought about me.
So obviously, I was playing Tyler Durden, which was a very, very good feel because I was able to be free to tell anyone anything. I got this freedom to say whatever I want. I was drinking, I was using swearing words, and well, it was a very kind of relaxed thing. It was dynamic. We asked to the people that tell me, what do you think about me? We didn't ask what do you think about the character because it would be too obvious. We asked what do you think about me? Why do you think I did that in the book? What do you think? Which were my purpose of it? So that was very, very interesting. It was very funny, and
Yeah.
well, we got to the symbols.
Yeah, well, the symbols, we try not to only talk about them like in a literal way, but how they were depicting the history and what their meaning was.
Yeah, there were a lot of symbols in the book that were not explicit, but they were in the whole book. They talk about the soap, the fat, then we talk about Paper Street, the scars, and we ask to them, tell me what you think about this. What do you think, which are the meanings of these symbols, and how would you interpret these things into the real life? So it was very interesting.
Yeah, a lot feedback came from our students, and there was a lot of good participation in here. Even at the point that we have to put some of the participants away and try to get some others new. So now, about the themes, we try to talk about things that had been already analyzed by theoretical and professional people in the field of literature. Also about the things that had been misinterpreted on the book, like for example the incel movement taking this book as a book such as the Bible for the Christians, and also the extreme right movement that thought that it was like an invention that came to change the whole world and the perspective of the life, thinking that they, as in the book say it, they were not beautiful and unique snowflakes, that we are all the same and that they have the power to treat other people badly.
So, in order to this, we took a bunch of quotes that we took out from the book and from the movie, and we put into the presentation in order to ask to the people that were in the presentation to read them and then ask them why you think, like, this is your lab and it's ending one moment at a time. What do you think? This is relatable. You can say that is accurate. Why you think? Then explain why you think it's you can relate this, like you're not job, you're not how much did you have in the bank, like this kind of stuff, that the struggle that we feel and that we deal with it in nowadays.
Yeah, every day of our lives.
A lot of answers. It was very interesting. It was funny to learn more about our classmates, and well, this has a reason, and the reason was because we got an activity which were a really fun activity that includes these kind of questions that were like very vain, like have you ever punched someone intentionally? How do you feel? We scale up from the lowest point to the highest point of that question, like have you ever kicked someone even if it was not intentional? And then we scale up into more deeper questions, like, well, now tell me, have you ever feel that you have some purpose? Do you find any sense in your life? What do you think it is?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed a lot making this because putting the limelight not only in us that were depicting or like trying to characterize these people from the book was real cool. Like we will tell them, turn on your camera and now answer this to me. They were, I don't know, being exposed. I don't know how to say it in other words. And well, the last question was the one that I enjoyed the most, that who are you? Because the question is who are you? And they would answer something like, well, I'm Josue, and we will tell them like, no, that's your name. I want you to answer who are you? And they would say like, well, I don't know, maybe I'm a human. And I don't know, many of these things that came from the presentation, I really enjoyed them. And well, do you have something else to say?
Well, only one thing I would like to say, that join the Fight Club.
Yeah, really, we really appreciate your attention, and thank you very much.